Welcome fellow enthusiasts to First Impression, where I give you my, first impressions about certain items. Today I want to discuss this plastic model kit. It's Architect from Kotobukiya in the grand scale. It was one of the first model kits I've ever put together, and it was the first grand scale I've ever built, and it was also the first model kit where I attempt to paint it all. And now I want to share with you the result and also give you my honest opinion. But before I start, I usually also want to discuss the packaging a bit. This is the box she comes in. It's your typical model kit box with pictures on each side and a blank back. Excuse me if this rattles a bit because I'm storing the empty runners inside. You can open this from the top, and inside the box we have two separate spaces, and then we have like a set of two instructions. One of them is the building instructions. This is black and white and only comes in Japanese, so if you want to understand it you might have to translate it via Google Lens. And the second one is the runner count. We have like 12 runners in total if you want to count the smaller ones as well, and then there's an extra one for the hands and some pouches for the faces. On the other side we have pictures of the finished model kit and some lore. This is the frame arm measure she is based on, the Architect type, and here we have some I would say like paint instructions if you want to use the correct shades. So there are 3 faces included with the kit. All of them are printed and there are no blank ones. Interestingly enough, we still get a sheet of decals with some eyes on it. I guess this is for people who want to paint over the face with a different skin tone and start again from scratch, so this might come handy to those people. And before I now show you the building of the kit and also the final result, I want to take this opportunity to make a quick size comparison between those two scales, because from the original scale we've come from 15 centimeters to 25 on the grand scale, so roughly double the size. And interestingly enough, also the boxes have doubled in size, because this is a normal scale frame arm girls box. You can see it's basically just half the size, and also has a matte finish where the grand scale box has a glossy finish. Of course I do prefer the matte finish, not only for filming purposes but also for the general aesthetic. Interestingly enough, not only the size of the actual model kit and the boxes got doubled, also the price have increased by a twofold, because we come from roughly 4,500 yen for the normal scale frame arm girls kit to 9,000 yen for the frame arms grand scale. We also have to take into account that with this stylet kit here, I've got plenty of weapons and accessories to put onto her body, where with the grand scale you will get none of this. There isn't even a chance to recreate this illustration here up front where she grabs down to her leg for the bandage, where with the normal size you could recreate this scene as well. But now let's discuss the actual model kit itself. As you can see, it's quite big. It's 25 centimeters, like I said. It does look like a proper scale figure now. It also weighs a bit more than your typical average model kit. And yeah, it looks quite good with the matte finish, but this is only because I went through the trouble of painting her. When I put her together and I finished it in roughly 5 hours, I was very unhappy with the plastic shiny look. Because of the bigger scale, you also have more plastic surface overall, and it looked very shiny and very toy-like. So I built it, I've sanded it, and then I painted it with some acrylic paint and added a top coat. Unfortunately, she is also now a bit of a glass cannon, because on certain areas I've already rubbed off the paint when I filmed the B-roll and I had to pose her in more extreme ways. I don't know if this is because I used subpar paints, but then again I would have thought that the top coat will take care of this, but maybe this is just the essence of things, that once a kit is painted and top coated it becomes a bit more fragile. What is a bit of a shame, because in my opinion it defeats the purpose of having an articulated doll if you can't pose her as freely anymore. Interestingly enough, the color separation is also not perfect. It's good, but not perfect. You still have some parts, especially here on the arms and the chest and also the skirt, where you have to apply your own color to the base runner color. Also, no stand included with this model kit. You have the pack holes in the back, on the skirt and on the back, but there is no stand included. I don't even know if there is such a thing as a grand scale stand, but then again, I assume you can buy one. But as you can see, because of her bigger scale and also of course the bigger feet now, she stands quite well on her own. Only if you want to pose her in a more action-driven way, you might have to come up with your own solutions to keep her in place. Last but not least, I will now show you the size difference between those two kits. Here is the Grand Scale Architect, fully painted, and here we have Styled unpainted in the normal scale. Of course, this looks much more like a toy and the Grand Scale looks like a proper scale figure, but then again we have to take into account that she came with a stand, she came with quite some accessories like those rockets, the backpack, the Gatling gun, and I'm sure there are even more of them in the box that I didn't attach, where the Grand Scale has none of this. I'm sure there are like additional kits you can buy, like armor kits, and beef up her frame a bit, but with this base kit you get none of this. Not even the part where she grabs down to her leg and holds this bandage. This is also not included, like I said, even if it's depicted on the box. So yeah. Okay, so final thoughts. I really like the Grand Scale, especially the bigger sized parts felt very substantial to put this together. With the normal 112, 110 scale figures that most plastic model kits are, I struggle a bit with those tiny parts, but the Grand Scale parts felt really nice. But then you have to consider that the finished model might look even more like a plastic toy than a proper figure. I've built mine on stream and it took me like 40 hours to complete everything, like putting it together, sanding it and painting it. And if you're interested in watching me build some model kits, you can join me live on stream every Monday on Plum Monday on my Twitch channel as well as here on YouTube. But for now, take care out there and keep having fun collecting.